important for your final exam or test 2. Okay, so you already done your test 1 where we cover CL1 and CL2. So your test 2 question 1 will be on the scheduling and cost implication. Today we focus on cost implication. Project scheduling, this one is a network. It's a network. CL4, this one is one chapter itself, more on the design of products. Okay. Okay. All right. So chapter 6 is lots of information there. We will focus on the last few items here, which is what is the present value, what is the future value. There's an equation for us to calculate what happened if you put in a certain value today with a certain interest rate, what will it become in the future? Is it worth it or not, the investment? So we want to focus on that today. Okay. Okay, the rest you read. All this information is loss of theory, so I won't read. Okay, so acquisition on global pricing strategy, there are two types of acquisition, type 1 and type 2. So the rest also you read this one. So type 1 acquisition is one of a kind project with little or no follow-up business. So what is the type 1 acquisition? So and what you should do in the type 1 procurement, or when you do pricing, what should you do? 1, 2, 3, 4 until 8. Then type 2 is more on new projects. And then there are some 10 steps here. What should you do if you have a type 2 acquisition? Okay, so this one you read. Okay. Now, when we do estimation, we will get sources from, we need to ask question like, how do we get information to help us to do a good prediction or good estimate? So information here, traditional way is through your experience. Then the another one, like you're doing your FYP, how do you learn useful information about your projects? You read material, reference material, professional reference material, journals, newspaper coverage, or some premium newspaper. Okay, so there are some newspaper that is professionally covered for that particular segment, right? So for example, newspaper The Age in Malaysia, if you go and buy The Age newspaper, you will have a very detailed coverage on a certain topic in economics and business. But it's a bit expensive lah. One I think is 2 weeks. They publish 2 weeks one time. One time or one month already. Okay. So one newspaper, it costs about 5 ringgit to 6 ringgit. One bulletin. Okay. So you can do survey. You can do knowledge. You can also use software, some equation for you to do estimation. Okay, or you can, if you don't have the experience, you want to get a very quick idea, you go and ask expert. Okay, so that's why nowadays the industrial people, they are very good in technical. They are good in the technologies. Means they have the money, they have the equipment, but they are lack of knowledge, specific knowledge. So nowadays, the industry work closely with the industry. So they get those technical expert from the industry. For example, those Intel, those computer processor company, they do get input from the professors in that particular chapter, subject. Okay. All right. So company will start with a few judgment. For example, parametric estimate, this one based on statistic data, they get numbers. Then analogy, this one is from their experience, right? And expert judgment they get from special expert, right? So this one you read lah. There's a lot of information here. First type of estimate is order of magnitude analysis. Order of magnitude analysis, the accuracy is plus minus 35% within the scope projects. So this one, they might use experience, scale factor, and all this. Order of magnitude. Okay. So what I mean by order of magnitude? So we will need to touch a technical word in project management. It's called WBS, work breakdown structure, WBS. So WBS means if you see this table here, you have level 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these are the level, WBS level. Okay, so if you are level 1 means you are the top, you are at the top, you make the decision one. Okay. Another one is called approximate estimate. This one is from top-down estimate. The accuracy will be within plus minus 15%. Right. So these are the things that related to approximate estimate lah. This one also we read. Okay. So these are the. Okay. So this is an important table. So you see the standard project estimate, they have a few types. Estimating, generic, WBS, accuracy, and time to prepare. So if you are using parametrics, the accuracy will be very, very low, right? So time to prepare, very fast one. So engineering one is the most accuracy, because engineering will look at data. So when you look at data, you have a plus minus 25% to 100%. Time to prepare, you need more time for that. Okay. So this is how you construct estimating manual. So this one is just a guideline. Different company have their own way of estimating. So this is just a guideline for you, right? So they have different classes. Class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they have accuracy table here. Okay. The most accuracy is class 1. You give a definitive accuracy plus minus 5%. It's very, very accurate. But if you want to get a very quick, then you go for order of magnitude, but accuracy is very, very low. You just get a very broad idea what is that trend of that one. Okay. So the example of definitive 5%, this one, if you are playing shares, there is some tools for you to estimate the next minute or next 30-second transaction. That one is example of definitive. It's a very quick transaction, but very accurate. Of course, when you have a class 1 estimate, most of the time the tools is premium level. Means you need to pay some money for it. Okay. So this one is just an example of estimate checklist. Okay. So checklist, if you want to go for various class 1 to 4 here, there are lists of items that you need to check from item number 1 until 21. Okay. Okay, the rest you read. Okay. Now, when you do estimate, it's during a bidding. During a bidding, so you have a type of estimate will vary to the life cycle of the project. So you have, let me see. So you have 4 stages. For in-house project, you have 4 stages: conceptual stage, planning stage, main stage, and termination stage. So you have 4 stages. So this life cycle is important. If the question asks you for in-house project, elaborate or discuss the type of estimate that can varies over the life cycle of a project. So you write these 4 answers. Conception stage, what happened? Planning stage, what happened? Man stage, what happened? Termination stage, what happened? Okay. Pricing process, this one you read lah. Okay. So you read. Okay. Now this one is a labor distribution. The flow chart for labor distribution where you estimate the cost for the laborer. So you see, is everything you start from below. Functional pricing flow. So you start from the very, very low level cost section. They give the input. They give the input to the department. Then the department will give feedback into functional management. Then it will go into program management. Then the flow will flow down to the output, right? So man hours, they submit for each task. Then assuming that the task is the lowest pricing element, there are time frames per month. Then the man hours per month per task are converted into dollars or ringgit Malaysia after multiplication of appropriate labor rates. This one, this man hours is important when we have construction projects or very big projects that you need to use some expert, for example, welding, welder. What are the total hours you need for that projects, right? Because you're being charged for per hours. Huh? Okay, this one you read. This one, this slide is more on like how you manage the labor cost lah. If you are project manager, what should you look at or what should you understand when you look at the labor rates in your budget? Okay. Okay. So this slide is mentioned about the average hour rates. So even either you become boss after you graduate or you work for someone, this hourly rates is based on your past experience. So if you go to interview, you demand for higher salary, they will look at your experience. Okay, so for the fresh graduate, if you don't have any experience, they will press down the price and compare with other candidates. Okay, so it's important when you choose for your internship. Have you went to internship yet? Went already. Come back already, right? Okay, so some of it is too late for you. But if you're going for a good internship company, when you go for interview for a real job after you graduate, right? Your internship experience actually will help you a lot, whether you will become a successful candidate to enroll into the company or not. Right? They will ask for what experience or how you contribute to the companies, how you contribute to the projects. For example, if you join Dyson design department, R&D department, the first question they will look at your CV. They will ask about what projects have you been done for the past 4 years in universities. Tell me the most significant projects that you have been involved that link you with your engineering knowledge. Okay, so you need to bring up your FYP. You can sell your FYP projects. If your FYP project is so significant, sell your FYP projects. That is your experience you have. If you're interview for design engineers or related engineering related. Okay, your FYP project is important. Who is your supervisors is important. So sometimes they hire you because you follow a master or sifu that is expert in that area. Okay. So this is normal. So experience. Then also sometimes you'll be wondering why they offer me this salary. It's because of the budget they have. Okay, because of the budget of the company, and also the local outlook or similar industry. That is the rate offer in that area, or in that state, or in that country. So most of the industry player, they will follow the HR people. They are quite smart. They will do sharing of information, right? Because they don't want to destroy the market, right? And each one of it, let's say there are lots of electronic companies out there, for example. So the HR people, they know each other. They even share what is the rate. They will give like 10%, 20% difference in their negotiation. So they will share their information. Hey, how much you pay for fresh graduate in company? So I will share also what happened in my company. So in the industry, they will not overpay. They will not destroy the market range unless they are so desperate. They have a budget from the management. Then they want to get in a lot of expert in that area. Then they will pay. Okay. Now one example is Micron. So if you haven't heard of Micron, you can go and look up what is Micron. So one of my FYP students, he managed to join Micron in Singapore even before he graduates, right? So because he's followed me to did some autonomous vehicles, he managed to join Micron, electronic company, as an engineer inside there. And they paid my students 4,000 Sing dollar for fresh graduates. So why they managed to pay 4,000? Because my student have experience they're looking for. Then also at that time, Micron is expanding. They need that area of expert. Then they have a budget from the management. And in the industry, the rate is overrated actually. In Malaysia, they offer 4,000 ringgit Malaysia. In Singapore, they offer 4,000 Sing dollar. Same number, but different currency rate. Okay, so that is the thing lah when they do for human resources enrollment, and they talk about average hourly rates. Okay, so it's important when you go out there, don't look at the total amount they pay you. Try to think in hourly rate, how much they pay you per hour. You need to calculate until the hour so that you know what is your value in the company. So if your input is less than that value, then they might talk to you in the office lah. Why you don't have output and so on. Okay. So for example, those sensitive area like aerospace or defense industry, your salaries they negotiate with you. They negotiated with local agencies before they submit the proposal, before they bid for the projects. They already negotiate with the governments. Okay, this is our budget. Can you, because when they produce fighter jets, all this funding is from government. So they need to know how much budget is given. Then only they will start the new hiring process. Okay, so this is a common sense or tricks if you become a project manager. The labor hours when you submit by the functional units, they often overestimates. Why? Because there's a fear of management. They will reduce, they will do adjustment on the numbers that you submit. This happened in all companies. Okay, so when you do budgeting, do have some rooms, mark up a little bit to prepare for management massage. They call it massage. They will cut here, cut there. So be smart and don't right. So these are the things. So sometimes why the management go and massage your budget, because they have insufficient funding, or they just want to remain competitive in the among the industry. Okay. So the conflict here is happen between project manager and function. So conflict here is because of the needs of the position. Project managers, they want to complete the project as fast as possible, achieve, make sure the project is success. So there are criteria to make the project success. However, functional managers, they will only look at their functional lines. They want to keep their good stuff. Okay, so functional managers, they want to keep their good stuff. What they do, they want to fight for high salary for their staff. However, project managers, you want to win over the projects, or you want to win over the bidding process. Normally, you want to be offer a very competitive price. So one of the area you can cut, or one of the area where you can become a very competitive, you cut your labor cost. And in fact, labor cost is the most, labor cost is one of the high component in the projects. Okay, in most of the bidding project, labor cost is very, very high. Okay, the rest you read. Now, there are two different words here, very sensitive in project management module. Overhead and overhead rate is different. Overhead means ongoing business expenses that cannot be directly attributed to a specific activities. Right? So overhead is ongoing business expenses that cannot be directly attributed to a specific activities. So here, like admin costs, your reserve fund for any disaster like fires, your rental, all these things. Then overhead rate, this one is a cost allocated to the production of a product or services. Overhead rate, this one you need to put inside or included in your product cost. Like when you produce a piece of iPhone, you need to include what is the hourly rate of your labor. How much people you need to hire just to assembly one handphone, complete handphone. You need to include that one. Okay, this one you read, overhead rates. I want to skip to the this one, material cost. This one also you read. It's very direct. This one you read. This one also you read. Okay, this one, price out the work. This one, they use logical pricing techniques to obtain detailed estimates. So these are 13 steps. So this one, if this question come out, no choice, you have to write these 13 steps. Right? So this slide is important. This one, if you see the question, explain the 13 steps, provide a logical sequence to help a company control its limited resources. So you need to write all these 13 steps. Okay, I want to go to the last part of my slides. I'll go to life cycle costing. Okay. So what happened in your life cycle costing analysis? There are some human error. There are some error that you need to consider. So maybe your data is wrong. your misinterpret data or misuse of technique, you failure to check the work, and you're estimating the wrong items. So this equation is important for your test 2 and also final exam. So this formula is important to find FV is future value, FV equal to PV bracket 1 plus K multiply K. Yeah, right here. FV equal to PV 1 plus K N. PV is present values. K is investment interest rate or cost of capital. And N is number of years. You use this one to estimate future value and present value. Okay? It's important, this formula. So how do you apply this formula? If you have investment of $1,000 or ringgit today, is your present value. If you invest today, 1,000 ringgit today, invested at 10% for 1 year, it will give you the future value of what? So you substitute value 1,000 here. K, then 10%, you need to convert 10% into 0.1. 10% is 0.1. N is 1. You substitute, you will get 1,010 for future values. Okay? So if an investment yield 1,000 a year from now, how much is worth today if the cost of money is 10%? Can you calculate? Can you substitute the value and find what is the present value? What's the present value? Huh? Some of you are very fast. How many? How many? Who haven't signed? The question asks you present value. The answer, I think, is 900. Understand or not? Why 900? You rearrange this equation, you'll get 900. Okay. So to solve these problems, we must discount future values to present to compensate the purpose. So this is called discounted cash flow, DSF. Discounted cash flow. So you can rearrange whichever the question asks you. Either the question, there are 4 parameters in this equation: future value, present value, investment interest rate or cost of capital, and the numbers of years. The question can ask you any from these 4 parameters. Okay, the answer is 909. Okay, 909. So if you answer is 900, answer is wrong. You need to give up to 3 significant places or 3 decimal places. It depends on the question. Okay. So therefore, from this question, 1,000 a year from now is worth only 900 today. So what this number can tell you? It tells you that if you today you invest more than 909, you actually making losses. Understand? It's because future it worth 1,000. But today, if your investment you pay 1,000 today, and in future you also get 1,000, means actually in future you are actually making losses. But if you pay 909, actually you are only break even in the future.
Because if you booking 1,000, after 1 year also 1,000, how come it's lost?
Okay. How come it's lost? Huh? Today, 909 equal future value 1,000. Because you didn't take into consideration of interest rate. Like for example, today, you buy a piece of, now since you like coffee, I use coffee. So a cup of coffee today you buy from Coffee Bean or Starbucks, it costs you 9 ringgit. In future, 1 year later, 1 cup of coffee you need to pay 10 ringgit. So if you today, I ask you to pay me 10 ringgit, in future, it will cost, it means you give more value today. It means you invest, you put in more chips that needed. Today, like for example, today you only need to pay 9 ringgit to reach a value of 10 ringgit. So it means in future, under 10% of interest rate, 909 is equal to 1,000. Means today you buy item 9 ringgit. The value in future is 10 ringgit. Means in future you sell the same coffee, the value that you can sell is 10 ringgit. So it's like currency This is more on currency. Okay, more on currency, more on the present value, and so on. Okay. So the question actually want you to answer whether worth it or not if you invest a certain money. So it will not wise if you pay more than 909 today to buy something that is give you return 1,000 return a year from now. Okay. Okay. Or I put in another terms. I give the same. I give the same same scenario. Let's say a broker tell you today. He tell you the interest. He tell you if you pay me today 909 today. After 1 year, I pay you not a good example. Not a good example. Let me show you another slide. Okay. Now, if you purchase this as investment in $875, your interest rate will be more than 10%. Means you earn more. Okay. So another example. If you have 2 choice of investment, investment A generate 100,000 in 2 years from now. Investment B, it give you 110,000. Okay. What is the cost of, if the cost of capital is 15% or interest rate is 15%, Which investment is better? Okay, A, you throw in 100K, it will give you, sorry, in 2 years, 2 years. Same company, 2 different company. After 2 years, you generate 100K. For company B, it takes 3 years to generate another 10K, but it takes 3 years. And the percentage rate, interest rate is 15%. The K value is 15%. So when you invest, you put in the same amount, right? Let's say your present value, you put in 80K. Which one give you better return? Yeah. Okay. And why? So you cannot like say just A, you need to show me numbers by using this formula.
So when we do this type of question, we don't need to consider all these things, right? Because after 1 year, the value of money will also depreciate, right? So we don't
Yeah.
need to consider all these things, right?
Yeah. So this is just a introduction. Later you'll see a more practical one. So this is, so if you use a discount cash flow, the present value will be 75,000. If you work back the formula, present value for A, you need only invest 75K. But present value, B, you invest 72K. Okay. So if you look at the numbers, 75K you put in, it will give you 100K in 2 years. And present value, you put in 72K, it will generate, you need 3 years to generate another 10K. So in this case, if you look at the numbers, the company A will give you a better return. Okay, better return. Okay, it generate faster income for you. Okay. So this is only 1 point. This question only have 1 point. What happened? Of course, when we do investment, we don't look at 1 point. We look at a few points. So we'll use this NPV, net present value, and PV method. Okay, given by this equation. NPV equal to the sum of future value divided by 1/k PV. This actually is the present value. Actually, it's present value equation. Okay, the middle one, this one, the bracket, actually is the present value for that particular case, let's say 1 year or 2 years, and so on. Minus II. II is initial investment, means your cost. Okay, II is the initial investment. So how do you apply? I will show you using Excel form. In the final exam or your test 2, you only need to write this equation and then use your calculator to calculate. Okay? I hope you can understand the yellow color and the white color equation. Actually, it's the same. Yeah. So C Fn divided by bracket 1 plus In. I here is the K, or you can just replace K if you want. Okay. So I will write this equation over here. And PV equal to the sum of FV 1 plus K T minus II. So when you solve this kind of question in your test 2 or final exam, you will see a statement like this. Okay, so assume initial cash flow a project is 10,000 invested for projects. Subsequent cash flow for each year for 5 years is 3,000. The discount rate is assumed to be 10%. Calculate net present value. In your answer sheet, you draw two tables. In your answer sheet, you write discount rate. You copy from the question 10%. You write initial investment. So you copy from the question 10,000. Then you build another table like what you see on the screen here. You write year cash flow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Because this question it asks you for subsequent each year for 5 years. So you write year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then cash flow 3,000 you copy. Then you look at this equation. Okay, you develop the equation. You extend one more column. It's called present value. What is present value? You take B9, which is this one, present value. Sorry, this one is the cash flow divided by 1 plus K. Okay, this one. Cash flow, this one is the future value, FV. You take FV divided by 1 plus K. K is what? K is 10%. Okay. Remember when you do calculation, this one is 0.1. This one is 0.1. Okay, this one is 0.1. Bracket, there is an exponential in your calculator. Press the exponential, multiply by the 1. So this kind of question, normally, if you understand, you can score full marks. Error will be here. Careless mistake will be these numbers. If you use 10 here, you'll get wrong answer. Okay, so you just copy the question. Give me this layout. I'm expected to see discount rate. You write the percentage here. Initial investment, you read the question. Years, it depends on the question. In this case, 5 years, so you have the year 1, 2, 3, 4 until 5. Cash flow here is depend on the question. This question is very kind. It gives you every year is the same, 3,000. Of course, when it comes to final exam or test 2, the numbers will be different. Okay? You need to press calculator to find the present value by using this formula. FV divided by 1 plus K multiplied T. The T value is referring to the years. Okay, you get that value. The first output is here. How you find the second numbers? You in Excel, you know lah, you just drag this value. But when you do in your test 2 or final exam, careless mistakes is over here. Okay, careless mistakes is over here where your K value, your K, not K value, your T value, this one. Your T value, you will calculate 1. Don't do that. Your T value is referring to, like for example, the 3,000 for the second year, your T value is 2 and not 1. The third year, the T is 3, not 2 or not 1. Same with this one. This is 4, this is 5. Just be careful on that. Okay. In Excel, it's very easy. You just drag on it. But when it comes to tests, you need to manually calculate. Okay. So when you get the numbers, you get all these numbers. After you calculate for present value of year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get the total because the equation is total. Is sum of the numbers total here. Okay, sum of numbers. So you get one number there. There's one number. You can either go to here, this column here, you can write net present value formula, means the total number of this one, you add all the numbers, you get a number. Then you calculate using this formula, NPV equal to the sum of future values, sum of present values minus initial values. Means you take the sum of this one minus this one. You get one value. Okay, in this case, when you apply the formula, you get 1,372.36. If you get positive value, that is a good investment. When you get negative value, reject the transaction or reject the proposal. Means you're losing money. Okay? Now, what does this positive value means? You put in 10,000. At the end of the 5 years, the total money you collected give you positive surplus, 1,372.32. By assuming the interest rate is the same every year, 10%. Okay? This is one of the examples. So you need to show me all these numbers in your answers when it comes to test 2 and final exam. You can either write in this presentation, or you can just show me this presentation. You draw this box, you fill in the numbers, you put in how you calculate. You can pull this net value formula over here, press your calculator, total all these numbers. Then you can calculate net present value. You calculate and you put this number over here. Okay, to solve this question, remember to put in general equation, which is this one. You need to write this equation somewhere in your solution. Okay, if you don't write this one in, I will circle all the unknown answer. I will suspect how you get this answer if you do not write this formula. Okay, and the formula you write here, the K, the T, please explain what is K, what is T, what is II, what is FV. So in your column here, if you can, you just put in the bracket, what is that, what is that? Okay, so nothing hard here lah. You just follow in the formula, you drag, then you get the answer. Okay, so this is another presentation with the same concept. So if you understand the example just now, you should be able to understand what happened in this table. Meaning, the cash flow is different each year. Year 1 give you 10,000, 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 5,000, 2,000. The initial investment is 10,000. You add all the numbers, you get 8722. 8722 is this component minus 10,000, which is your initial investment. We give you, if you in the finance bank statement, you see this symbol means negative value. If you have negative value, it is not a good sign. Reject the proposal. I mean, your decision is reject the proposal or don't do the investment. Okay, so this is actually for this one. Okay, you can either see this presentation in the question, then you can present this one as your solution. Remember to write the equation, this one. Yeah, not a very hard thing, right? Okay, so it just means if you get negative, you will not recover the initial investment. Mean you actually you having a loss. Having a loss. So it's a bad investment to consider. Okay. So there is a statement here. If you use the discount cash flow, the actual payback is greater after 5 years, assuming that there will be a cash flow in year 6 and 7. This is just a assumption, because in this question they don't give you 6 and 7. So this is just an assumption. If the buyer or if the proposer or your vendors try to pursue you, they will give you this statement. This is what they project for 5 years. Then you calculate, hey, this is not a good investment. Then the banker or broker will try to add this statement to pursue you to continue with them. They will say, maybe after 5 years, who knows, you will get more cash flow. They'll give you estimated numbers. So be careful if you make any investment. Even in your insurance policies, if you are familiar with insurance, if you buy some policies, for example, investment link products, remember, in the policies, all the value are estimated value. They do not use the word guaranteed. If you buy insurance, go home and open your policies and read. They give you a table, there's a return, there's a wording there. They will put in estimated value there. So don't blame your agent or don't blame the insurance company if they don't pay back the actual value maybe after 10 years or 20 years. They are not guaranteed value. So if you are not sure, you try to ask your insurance company or insurance agent, can I get a guaranteed or not? They cannot guarantee you. They're unable. If the insurance company, they say guaranteed, quick go and sign. Quick go and sign contract with them. If they can get you a table and then the contract say guaranteed value, you use this formula to calculate what is the interest rate for the future, then the value, and you compare your investment with the future value. So if you make money, then you quick go and sign on if they can guarantee the future value. Yeah, this is some additional info. I won't ask this in the exam, but I will ask you this example like this. Okay. Okay, so this statement, this table is important. If the NPV greater or equal to 0, accept the projects. If the NPV less than 0, reject the projects. we need these two statements in your answer, either in test 2 or final exam. Write these two statements before you give your conclusion. After you did all these calculations, you write these two statements. It's important. Huh? This one 1 mark, this one 1 mark at least. You write, if the value is greater than 0, accept the projects. If the NPV less than 0, reject the projects. What happened if your question at the end, normally I'll give you project A, project B. What happened if your project B, project A, give you NPV 1,000. Project B give you NPV 1,200. What is your answer? What is the answer? If the question come out and this one actually come out in the almost every semester. What is your conclusion? If you are the project manager, what do you propose to your stakeholders, to your sponsor? By looking at these two statements. So, what is your decision? Huh? Accept 2 projects, but you cannot go for 2. Which one will you recommend? The answer is accept 2 projects. What is your recommendation? You recommend B, because B give you higher return. So that is the expected answer. If the question asks you about NPV. Okay, you write the 2 statements there. Then you say project A NPV value is this one. Project B NPV value is this one. Accept both projects. However, we would like to propose project B because we would like to propose project B rather than A because NPV B higher than A. Okay. Now, if you get negative, what is your decision? Huh? Negative, what is the answer? Reject both. Reject, then no approval. Means you don't go for that one. Okay. So this one, example 2, your homework, basically the same process. You read the question, you build the table, then you calculate the cash flow component. Only I need to highlight is the careless mistakes here. Remember the T, you are actually using this value and not the previous value. That is the careless mistakes. So don't do that. This example give you the answer of, I think, a positive value. Example 2 also same. Negative value. So the conclusion is you go for one of the company that give you positive value. Okay, so this one you go and do. Okay, we continue others in next lecture. Okay.